Welcome back. Welcome back, Dominic. Talking a little more nature with the Kickstarter that just successfully completed. Looks like it did really well. I'm in. Can't wait for it. Yeah, welcome back to the show. And this time we even roped Chad in.
Yeah.
And evidently my dogs who are barking.
Oh, of course. I mean that's the best part. So I saved this because I wanted to do a thing. So these
Oh,
showed up at my friendly local game store
oh,
recently. Actually, just last
nice.
night. I walked in, there they were, and I'm like, I will take both of those home, please. So
Oh,
now
nice.
we have the Arctic and we have natural disasters ready to go, and I am so stoked to get in on these.
I'm gonna love to hear feedback. I'm gonna guess you'll like Arctic tundra better, but I'm
Ooh,
just
okay.
guessing.
I'm writing that down. We're gonna see if
Just
that
it's just
prediction
my
comes true.
guess. So what I found is, I mean, some people like. There's a lot of people that don't like natural disasters as much. Um, I think part of us who love it have played nature like 50, 100, 200 times. And so it's changing things up. And I think it might be changing things up too quickly for like new people,
Yeah,
but like nice for when like you've just played a lot. You're like, every round is like this new interesting puzzle.
which I
So we'll
love.
see.
Yeah, which I love about games but like for the longest time, Terraforming Mars was my favorite game. And one of the reasons was it's like a puzzle I have to solve every single round. Like it's not static. Conditions change super quickly. So if that's the case, I can tell you we're gonna like it.
We'll see. We'll find out. Or you might just think it's too much.
Those are
Some of the cards are chaotic. There's like a mix of chaotic cards along with cards that you can really pivot for.
hmm
So sometimes you're just like, oh, okay, that was bad. But it is natural disasters. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
for
was playing
sure.
to the theme a little bit.
Yeah, sounds on brand.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chad and I just actually recently played again the Flight and Jurassic modules together, and wow, what a game that was!
Oh,
Like
cool.
because that one I think that one was in dispute like all the way to the end. Like we didn't yeah, we had no idea at any point who was winning that game. I think like
Two-player game?
no, it was four. It was a four
Four.
player,
Four-player game. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
four and a half because Chad was playing on a team with his wife. But I think in the last two rounds we said, oh, X is Y or Z is totally winning this game. Uh, but just like the push pull between the birds and the dinosaurs was
Yeah.
awesome. Like Apex Predator really shined, and then the bird mechanics are just so cool to play with. Like,
The birds make predators hard to come out, but then Jurassic is so predator heavy. So
mhm.
like playing the two, sometimes there's like some people are sometimes playing like the bird strategy and they're just like staying out of the conflict, and sometimes there are these big predators attacking each other. Yeah, it's a fun combo.
Yeah, and
It was
that's
a
what
lot of fun. We had a lot of defensive players too. So even the non-birds, they were loading up with the defensive cards where they can't be attacked or whatever. So we had some hungry predators that didn't get fed that game.
well,
Flight can sometimes just create a bunch of hungry predators, but that was the goal. You know what? I can't wait till you do. You don't have Amazon rainforest.
I do actually.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah,
Amazon rainforest and Jurassic.
yeah, I've read all the, and it's somewhere back there. I read all the rules to Amazon Rainforest, including like the banana mechanics and the poison mechanics, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get this in because we just haven't had a chance yet. It's that one's going to be really great.
And the hidden cards is what like
Yeah, so
just
much
like
hidden.
changes that whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have fun with it. So tell us a little bit about climate and what that's really going to do to the game moving forward.
So climate is the first module that really takes what we did with evolution.
Hmm
So because there's flight and climate, and flight was just a completely different module. It has nothing to do with evolution flight, not even a little bit. I started there and just completely left. Climate is a fan favorite of evolution. So we polled hundreds of people to figure out basically two questions. If there's one thing we shouldn't change, what is it? And if there's one thing we should change, what is it? And so then we compiled all these results and we just looked at like what were the strong voices.
hmm
And of course, there's some strong voices that were like, there were some voices that were like, the climate, you should have more control over the climate, and some voices that said you should have less control over the climate. So, you know, those things you just ignore. But the strongest voices all basically said we liked 4 traits per species.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we really liked and we really wanted the climate to move more. So if you play with a lot of players, the climate doesn't move very much. If you play with just 2 players, it's pretty volatile. And so that was the loudest thing we heard, was basically the climate doesn't move enough. It just doesn't get to the extremes that much because people don't want to go there. So because everyone is choosing where the climate goes together, they're just kind of keeping it in the middle. And so it didn't get to the extremes. So that was the main issue we tried to solve. And then, you know, with all the new cards, we created 8 new traits. Most modules are 5 traits, but we had a sense that the climate, like the evolution climate players, wanted more traits and wanted just a little richer experience. So the goal of that game, same as climate, is to look at life over millions of years and see how it's like an epic story of dealing with the change in climate, which just happens. I know we talk about climate change now, and the thing that's different now is that it's man-made, like that it's caused by us. But there have been many ice ages, 3 or 4 huge ice ages, one that brought ice caps all the way to the equator, like where like all of the water basically, I mean, they're speculating, on planet Earth was frozen. So this is looking at just like these shifts of climate over millions of years and how do animals adapt to it.
Yeah, very, very cool. So you were talking a little bit about like the feedback that you gathered over the design process. So when you were designing this, like, what did that kind of look like? I guess how different was the vision when you started to the end of it?
So because I seek out feedback a lot, meaning I read all the Board Game Geek reviews, I read all the Amazon reviews, and I just talk with people and just solicit feedback. It was pretty similar to what I was expecting. Like, so the way that climate, have you played Evolution Climate?
Not climate, no.
So Evolution Climate has a climate track. We mirrored everything, and we even did art. It's like we paid homage to the original art on like the climate track. In Evolution, when people throw in their food card, there are also negatives. There's snowflakes and suns, and so they're also not only they're adding food to the watering hole, but they're pulling the climate one direction or another. And if there are more snowflakes than suns, it'll move colder one space. And if there's more suns than snowflakes, it'll move warmer one space. But it can only move one space. And the reason for that was it's already really hard knowing that it could move either this, there were 3 different spaces that it could be in. And knowing that and trying to protect from predators and feed your species, there are like 3 threats. You just couldn't manage it all. You could manage 2 out of the 3. So we didn't want it to move further. But what happens then is it just stays in the center most of the time, like 80% of the games. And so people are like, I want to get to an ice age. And it's just hard because there's invested interest by some of the people going, I can't get it to an ice age. So they're just throwing in suns. So right now we roll dice, and we made the dice.
Okay.
There's a 50-50 chance that it'll go colder or warmer. And then there's a 12-sided die, so we could give a whole bunch of like options. So 2 of the facing, so 1 out of 6 times it goes 1, it just moves 1 to the left or the right. Then 3 out of 6, it moves 2. 3 out of 6 moves 3. I think that's right. No, maybe 4 out of 6 moves 3. And then it moves, there's 1 facing that's 4, 1 that's 5, 1 that's 6. So it can move 6 spaces.
Oh wow.
1 out of 12 times.
Yeah,
So
the
one out of
super.
every.
Yeah, so like the meteor hit Earth, and now we're in trouble.
Yeah. So, but what we do with this version of the game is you roll the die ahead of time. So in Evolution Climate, you throw in a food card, so you have 1/4 of what might happen, and then you adapt, and then you look at the food card and reveal. With Nature Climate, you roll the die at the start, so you know where the climate's going to be, so you can strategically play for it. So those big swings happen, but you can strategically play for it, and that's when you're going, let's cut our losses, and these two species are going to die, and we're going to keep this one alive. Like you just plan ahead of time on how you want to make it work. But it works really well. I mean, generally the climate's going to move 1, 2, or 3 spaces, which is not that much, but every now and then it moves a 4, 5, or 6.
That's the best way to do randomness, is to, have some constraints and maybe like some, median averages that you can, and then seeing it ahead of time so you can plan around
and then
it.
seeing it ahead of time, right? So it's not just like a blindside.
Yeah.
It works really well. It is a fun module, a very fun module, and it's a bigger module than most. So instead of 5 traits, you'll have 8 different traits to explore.
Can't wait.
One of the things that took a long time to do was researching, because in the end, it turns out if we had half the traits protect cold and half the traits protect against heat, there were times when you would just draw and get nothing that you needed. So let's say the die moved 6 spaces, and you draw all 5 cards from the climate deck. Too often, you would not get anything you needed, especially if the die had gone, let's say, cold immediately, and a lot of the cold cards had been taken out of the deck, and then a reshuffle happened, and there weren't very many cold cards left.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find traits that work in the cold, protect against cold and heat. So 4 of the traits protect against cold and heat, and then 2 protect against cold, 2 protect against heat. So you're able to draw cards that you need. So for instance, my seasonal migration, that protects against the cold and the heat. Burrowing protects against the cold and the heat. So we just had to find 4 traits that can protect against both extremes. And then that really helped streamline the draw in terms of getting the protection you needed.
Yeah. And I think that's neat because like some people really detest randomness in games. I am not obviously not one of those people because I like shifting puzzles, right? But it's nice when it's managed randomness instead of like just complete and total chaos. Like
instead of like a choose your own adventure and you're like, oh, and you died.
Yeah. Or someone else chooses your adventure for you is more like it.
Yeah.
That's why like there's not too many games I'm really snobbish about, but like I don't understand Flux. I get that it's less of a game and more of an activity, but the just like the shifting keywords and shifting everything just doesn't speak to me. Doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's not for me. But like again, that managed randomness where I can like get a range of possibilities and either push my luck or try to plan for mitigation, that's my jam.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, Flux. I've actually playtested a lot with him because he's local. And I'm sadly it's not my jam either.
Yeah.
If there's going to be that much complexity, then I want to have more control.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's going to be that like much chaos, I want it to be less complex because I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about my move and then it doesn't matter. And I want the game to be shorter.
Yeah.
And so like it just and sometimes Flux is short and sometimes it's not. You just never know.
Yeah, I was just talking last night with somebody and we were talking about Battlestar Galactica, and they played a 4-hour game that had 6 people, and in the end it came down to a die roll of if I roll 3 or less, the Cylon team wins, 4 or more, the human team wins. And he's like, that's great and all, but I wish I hadn't just played a 4-hour game that came down to a die roll. And that's the kind of stuff that gets me. Like I think that's crazy. Like same thing. I want the control. And if I just manage outcomes poorly or manage like push my luck too far, like a flip 7 kind of thing, that fine, that's the game. But if it just comes down to like careful planning, careful planning, careful planning, screwed by dice, I'm super triggered.
There's some people
Flip.
that like that, believe it or not. Like I know a couple of people
Yeah.
who they're not strategy people and they really want to, I mean, they want to see the story unfold or something, you know, for that
It's
battle
dramatic.
psychological
That
kind of
that
thing.
ending is dramatic. They're on the edge of their seat,
Yeah,
wondering
because
who's
they've
going
put
to
4 hours into this, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
already. So yeah, it's the big reveal.
So you just brought up Flip 7.
I did.
I have a game I designed called Brilliant Misfits, and it is a mashup of Flip 7 and Diamant. Do you know Diamant?
I do, and I'm interested.
And I pitched it at Essen to 3 companies. I don't know if I should say it or not, but 3 big German companies, and they all wanted it.
Ooh,
And I was like,
awesome.
nice. And they're, 3 of the biggest companies out there. Yeah. So, anyways, I won't go into detail on that, but yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. It is a simultaneous play. Like everyone's in at the same time. Press your luck, and then everyone has some hidden cards. So you're eccentric inventors, and you're all in on like an entrepreneurial venture together, pursuing something totally zany and crazy, and then you're selling out before the bust. And
Oh, I love that.
And then if you bust, you get government assistance cards, and so there are ways to use government assistance. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and if you're the last person in, you're the deluded dreamer that just believes in this thing. You have to flip over 3 cards. So it's 3 more flips, but you get a bonus of 10 points if you don't
hit.
bust. Yeah.
That's such a perfect encapsulation of American capitalism. I don't if I was designing a modern game that's not Monopoly to like what is the modern state of capitalism in this country, it would probably look like that.
It would. Deluded dreamers.
I'm so excited. Yeah. Now, the last time we talked, you had mentioned that you were in the middle of some kind of card game. Is that the one that you kind of like alluded to?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've got several. So this is a new product line called North Star Cafe, and it's designed for gamers to share with non-gaming friends. And the idea basically was born, not this Essen, but the one before, when I was visiting my parents. And we started going to board game cafes in Paris. They live in Paris. And playing board games. And we played a ton of The Mind. We played Trio. We played No Thanks. And I'm like, these games... and my regret, like I just had so much fun. My regret was we weren't playing any of my games. And so I realized, like, I want to design games that I can play. And my dad is now 89. So he's old. So like, but he loves games, but they've got to be captivating and simple. And so there's a new product line that I'm designing for that called North Star Cafe.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I know you said earlier that you didn't get to see a lot of Essen because you were working at booth.
Yes.
But what I would think is interesting, could you take us through a little bit about what it's like to like work a booth and pitch some game ideas at Essen?
Yeah, so I mean, this is just a unique experience to me. So we were launching Nature, so we weren't taking any meetings. So a lot of people reach out because usually manufacturers want to meet with you to get you to like manufacture with them, but also other people. A lot of people were interested in licensing Nature, and I said, stop by the booth and I'll chat if I have time. So we were just trying to like keep our costs low. We've got tariffs, we've got uncertainty, so we're trying to keep our costs low. We're launching Nature. Haba, I don't know if you know, but they're doing the German edition. So
I did see that you had a couple of European deals go through, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, and Haba is not someone you'd expect to do a game of that weight, a Family Plus, because they usually do little kid games. And it like went gangbusters for them. So they sold out. I think they sold about 500 copies. And their whole booth was a Nature booth. So like I'm walking down and I see this banner that says nature and it points, there's like an arrow pointing this way. And I'm like, oh, I'm at Haba, cool. And I turn and the whole, like it's a, I don't know, 50 by 50 foot booth or something. I mean, it's just huge. The whole wall is nature. And they've got like nature, big, huge, like 3-foot nature animals from the cards posted like all over. And then it's just this big, huge panorama that they, I guess, used AI to extend from the cover. So yeah, it was really, really fun to see that. And so we had a lot of people coming to the booth wanting to license nature. So I told you guys we got hacked, so I haven't followed up. So I've been dealing with all the security issues. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of people that are interested in licensing it, which is nice. And then the only thing I did was pitch. I set up some meetings for. I mean, I guess I can just say. So Ravensburger, Cosmos, and Haba. I'm like, okay, those are the companies I want to pitch this to. Mm-hmm. Pegasus Spiel is just more hobby, and I don't really want to pitch them these cafe game ideas. Yeah. So it was really fun. So then I had these 30-minute meetings. I think one may have been an hour, and all of them were like, we really like it. So I pitched 2 games to everyone, and they all took, both of them except Ravensburger only took this brilliant misfit idea. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm excited. So we just put together prototypes today and we're sending them off.
That's awesome. So what does that look like? Do you just like give them a demo, or do you talk more like core concepts, show them some art, some components maybe? How does that kind of pitch work?
So I had 3 games, and one of them might be the game you were talking about. One of them is a deck builder that's just not yet done. That's just like a concept. And so yeah, I do my pitch just kind of high level, and then because these games are so simple, then I just say let's play. Yeah. And so I just get us right into the game. And right now for Haba, I'm hot because that game. So like I'm smoking hot for them. So like they're just like, we want it. Okay, sign us up. 2027. We're signed up. We're gonna license it from you guys.
Is that like that old Hot in Cleveland show? You're hot in Haba, like
yeah, Hot in Haba. Yeah, it's just the way the industry works, and so you kind of, you're hot at some point, and then you might as well like accept the ride and take it, because it's going to be gone at some point.
Like college football coaches, right? Strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, I guess so. It's like Hollywood, strike while the iron's hot. But yeah, exactly. So that was really fun, but it was also fun that I pitched it to Cosmos and Ravensburger, and they both wanted it too. The deck builder game. Oh, I wish I could share it to you. I'm so excited. So,
well, hey, if you want somebody else to put fresh eyes on it, play it, tell you what you think, you come to these guys. We'll tell you.
Yeah. Chatter, do you do deck builders too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's maybe my favorite thing.
Oh, really? I should tell you. So Chad actually has it's a Steam game, so it's digital, but Chad has a game that he just recently put on Steam for
well, it's on itch. I didn't put it on Steam.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's on what?
It's on itch.io.
Itch.io. Okay, I have no idea what that is.
It's a game website. So you can upload games. You just play it in your browser kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
So I had a little summer project that I put up there.
Yeah.
So you're a techie.
Yeah. Huge nerd. Huge.
You couldn't tell from his like very professional like podcasting looking setup, like vlogging setup he's got there. Like, man.
He does have, I should have known.
All I've got is Cthulhu in my background. I don't have the whole
thing. You got drinks.
Cthulhu and bourbon.
Yeah, right.
All of my bourbon's over there.
But the reason I say that, not to shamelessly plug Chad, is more because it is a more of a card-based game. So yeah, deck builders, card games, yeah, that's a jam.
So this is the dream for that game. No text on the cards. Because the biggest thing that sucks when you learn a deck builder is reading the cards, read the card. It takes forever. And then once you know the cards, there's so much interesting synergies. it's like, how do I try to get the synergies in without all the text? The way I have it right now, I do have text on the cards that cost 8. So there are cards that cost 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And I don't know if that goes in the base game or not. Like I haven't figured that out, but I think because you can't get them to begin with, it'll probably work. The game is called Homeward, and you're on a homeward journey. You're on an intergenerational starship going back to Earth, because Earth was uninhabitable for a while, and now it's inhabitable. And so the cards you're playing are part of your supercomputer. So you've got like a super processor, like a CPU, and then there's just 4 lines, and the cards you have those lines. Let's just say yellow, blue, red, green, and they're all yellows at the top, greens at the bottom. So they're all in the same order, and then they just go, and there's a circle with a number. And so there are 4 different actions. And when you play out as many cards as you can connect, then you just go through the top line and you're like, I get to buy 7 coins worth of, or 7, it's light bulbs, 7. It's research. So I'm researching 7 different cards, or 7 different icons worth of a card, $7, let's say, worth. And then you go to the next one and it does something. You go to the next one, and then the last one is draw cards, and it tells you how many cards to draw. And so, some of the cards you draw that you buy will just have a line for research, and some of them will just have a line for drawing cards, and some will have 3 lines. And so you're trying to figure out how to manage your deck so that you can most efficiently build your engine.
Kind of like building out some kind of automation where you're like hitting all of your different triggers like sequentially or something like that.
Yeah. So it's a scenario based game. So you're gonna flip out 4 planets each game, and this is it's like a 25-minute game. So you're gonna flip out 4 planets, and that's the scenario, and then that kind of affects your decisions on, do I want to send people to those planets? Do I want to just bypass these planets? Do I want to just, and the game end trigger is when you get 10 on any player gets 10 on any 2 lines.
Okay.
And then you finish off the round and the game over. So it's just like a quick engine building game where you don't have to read your cards.
I'm a little bit angry at you because I want to play this game now, and I know 2 or 3 years away from playing.
Well, no, I mean, I've now have the first prototype ready. I just need to make it. I just need to make it. Yeah, I've got all the cards sketched out. And when I say first prototype, I mean, I've been working on this game for about 7 years. I had a game that was a deck builder that was fully finished. People were telling me to publish it, and it turns out that it's really good at 1 and 2 players, and 4 players it can drag. So there are all these fun triggers and fun turns, but you're like, I'm waiting. So I'm like, okay, I need to redesign it, and then I redesigned it, and it was ready to be printed again. I had people that were interested in it. Like companies, who's the company? Hachette, one of the Hachette companies in France was like, I like the concept. I like the game. It's very simple to learn. It's very engaging. It's very, very fun. But the theme, this is not sexy. This is not sexy. And we'd heard that from a lot of people. The name was Homeward, but it wasn't space. It was like balancing work, play, learning, and growing. And it triggered a lot of people.
I can see that.
And so that last time it was like, all right, it needs a revamp.
This theme needs more anime girl or something.
No. This is not sexy.
I love that. I can see it. I can see it.
Thibaut, that's his name. So so anyways, it's the 3rd iteration of it, but now changing it to like this CPU and this visual way of the cards, like it's just changed it up. So I'm gonna have to rebalance the whole thing.
Oh well, maybe hopefully not another 7 years then, because the concept is the concept's very intriguing to me. It tickles. I love a good engine builder. Like, it's one of my very, very favorite game mechanics. So like, yeah, I'm here for it.
And I'll
So
throw in as someone who likes two-player games, like there's nothing wrong with a game that's just two
Oh
players too. So,
that's
if you have
true.
a game where it's really sweet there, maybe that's a good choice sometimes.
Yeah, well, this game should work with two players. So I ironed out a lot of the stuff. I mean, it's kind of simultaneous play, and then you go down your three lines.
yeah,
So
because there have been a lot of good like two-player only games that have come out over the past couple of years. I don't know if you've seen oh no, Chad, what's the capstone game? Pagan.
Yeah, I haven't played
Hey,
that one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure
really
that's
good. Pagan's really good. Uh, Beer and Bread is
that I've
I
heard a
like
lot
that one a
about.
so
lot. Yeah,
good.
that was a good game.
And then
Is that just two player?
yeah, Beer and Bread's is two-player. I wish
Oh,
it was more than two-player and I could play it more because the game's fantastic.
oh,
Um,
interesting.
and then Chad and I got played. We didn't play it on camera. We played a game called Gatsby that I got at Gen Con, and it's good, but it is very very mean. It is like it's take that every single turn. Like every single turn is take that. Or at
Yeah,
least,
but
That's funny.
interestingly, like I don't know, I felt like you were screwing me over the whole time, but I destroyed you in points,
yes, you
so
did.
it kind of works out, I guess.
So it was more me taking that, despite the fact that many of my moves were that. So like I think there's plenty of space. Like if something becomes like or only ends up as a two-player game, but I'm happy to see it at four because again that means if we love it, I get to play it more.
Well, and it should work fine at two. So I've
Yeah,
been designing the whole thing so that it scales better.
yeah. And unfortunately, if there's no cats in the game, my wife probably doesn't want to play it. So I gotta wait
Oh,
till
okay. Well,
Chad comes
maybe there'll be cats in space. Cats are coming home.
over. That's what, like I almost got her on Vantage when she saw a cat on the card, and then I told her you may or may not see the cat, and she lost interest. So,
That's funny.
was there anything else at the show that like, and again, knowing you didn't see a bunch of games or
I
anything,
know.
but is there anything else that you like really got to see or something that kind of amped you up for something that's coming in the next year or so?
I'm a really bad hobby gamer. I went there to launch nature,
Yeah,
and everything was about nature, and then some meetings.
yeah.
I never even got into Hall 3, which is where all the hobby games are. So I walked. Obviously, I had to walk to our booth a bunch of times, and so I saw a lot of booths. I've been in the industry since Tikal. I think '97 was when I started playing Euro games. So I've seen so many games. So sometimes I'm a little bit blasé. Sometimes my attitude is a little bit like, oh, well, if it's still around in 5 years, that means it's good, and
Oh,
I'll make sure I bring it to the table.
it, I once saw an XKCD comic that was like to that effect, like I'm just going to be 5 years behind the curve um, on video games, and I'm just going to play the really good ones. I don't see a problem. And then the next panel is like the guy running into the room yelling, "The cake is a lie! The cake is a lie!" Yes, we know. We played that game 5 years ago.
That's
That's
funny.
funny.
But that's cool. I mean, that is very. I'm happy that like nature sounded like it was such a big hit there because that means you'll keep bringing me more modules, like because I need more.
It was a big hit. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, our tables were just packed, and then there were lines for people, and then the conversion rate of people from playing to buying is so high. One of the maybe the highest I've ever had. Just a really high conversion rate.
That's awesome.
It really is. And in fact, our local game store, somebody's coming in to do a teach of nature. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So like they've seen a lot of movement on it too, which is really really neat. Um, so we definitely love that.
Yeah, I think because you guys have seen like the base is fairly accessible,
Yeah,
but has more things going on and more interesting play than you would expect from something of that level.
for sure. And I think for me at least, when the first time we played it, because when we played it on camera, we played it just the base game to just like kind of keep it a little simple for everyone to know like how it was played. And I was a little worried when we were done. I'm like, I really like this. There's a lot of cool things here, but is it enough? And then we
Right.
added modules like, oh
All
no,
hobby gamers feel that way.
this is how you're supposed to play. I understand now.
Yeah. I mean, the base game is still interesting if you play it very competitively, because every point you're fighting for every point, and you're going, if I play this as a population, I could get 1 extra point, but is that too risky? And so you're really there's a lot of depth in playing it well. But part of the fun of being a hobby gamer is like new content and new cards. And so, the base game does not give you that. It's more of like a closed system that gives you, the interest is just like, it's throwing out new interesting situations that you haven't been in before, and you're creatively trying to maximize, efficiently grow your population and feed them. But right, the modules is just
they crank it up into something like, I think if I look at my BGG app at the moment, this is probably my most played game all year. I think I'm at least a dozen plays in, with various modules.
Nice. God,
these now need to be a thing.
That makes me really happy.
So like, that's why, again, I'm glad it's doing well, because I just, go back to the design studio and design me some more modules, Dominic. I need it.
Yep, so easy. Just boom, 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 boom.
Don't get distracted with these space games and card games. Like, I can't have that.
Yeah, I mean, so where the modules start for me is like, it's got to have a hook. Yeah. It's got to, because otherwise it's just more cards. And for small box modules and for like mini modules, I'm like, okay, it could just be more cards. That's fine. Like, because more cards is fun. But like, I'm learning the pitch, because I'm going to Essen and pitching it. Tundra is a survival game. You're on the edge of the habitable world, and it is a struggle to find food, grow your population, and survive. And so that's the hook. Is like, if you like a difficult game, that's a survival game. Yeah. And like Jurassic, size is power. And Jurassic is designed to make you feel invincible, because you're big and bad and nothing can hurt you. And
if you got Apex or Thagomizer, you feel invincible.
Yeah. So like, each one has like a core emotional vibe that then it tries to express. And I can't just like come up with a new one. Like, it takes a while to really go.
I don't understand. Like,
I can just come up with new cards really easily. But if I really wanted to like have an emotional package and a hook, then it's just gonna take a while.
Yeah, that's the art in it, isn't it? Like, that's always the thing. Do you do like I know in songwriting and various other art forms, it's all about quantity, So do you just practice making games, and maybe it's just something that you're going to throw away, but just the art of, or the act of making something? Like, for a lot of songwriters will make sure that they write at least one song every day, and most of those don't mean anything. It's really just about building the skill of it, the craftsmanship of it. Do you ever do anything like that?
I wouldn't say like that. But I mean, as is evidence from like this generational Starship game, the Homeward, I throw away things all the time. So I'm designing and throwing away and iterating. And the reason I'm throwing those away is because I'm going, could this be a blockbuster? And I go, I don't think it could be a blockbuster. And, and I have the reasons. I'm like, I don't think it'd be a blockbuster for this reason or for this reason. And so then I just keep working on it. And that doesn't mean that every game that I release is going to be a blockbuster, but it means I think it has the potential, because there's so many games out there. So I don't need to just release more games, because it takes a lot of money and time to write the rules and find artists and do the art, and then figure out the graphic design and figure out the interface, the user interface. Like, all that takes time. And if it doesn't do well,
yeah,
you're like, okay, it's you just wasted your time. So I really want to make sure, like, if I release the game, I think it has a potential, it has a chance to be a blockbuster. And a blockbuster means it can keep your company alive for 3 to 5 to 10 years, like Wits and Wagers did for us. Or even Evolution, we're still selling a lot of Evolution 10 years later. So if it doesn't have that potential to like sustain your company, then I don't want to be caught in that cycle of like, we have to release 10 games every year and we just sell it a little bit. And then what's the next? What's the next? And you're like, you're basically living paycheck to paycheck if you go that route.
Mm-hmm. Or you turn into certain unnamed companies who need to have Kickstarters to fund the fulfillment for their last Kickstarter.
Oh, yes. Or that.
We can't have that because that never ever leads to issues.
No, that's a spiral. That's a bad spiral.
So, despite the fact that you will not promise me more content quickly, which I'm very disappointed about, like, man, I'm just going to leave this call so disappointed that I can't have the things I want. As you think about nature after the successful Kickstarter, like, what do you see like going forward? Like, what's the next direction you think you might want to take it?
For nature. So we talked a little bit about this, and I don't know if you're alluding to this or not. I don't think you are.
Am I smarter than I thought? I don't know.
You're a lot smarter than you thought. Oh. Well, because you're asking for all this content, and I want to cultivate a modding community to mod our game. And I want them to create mini modules, and I have a definition of what a mini module is. A mini module fits in this envelope.
Hey, there you go.
And
is that springtime?
And this is, yeah, you're right. This is spring. And that is the rules. And so the rules just go on the back. And then I want to have a small box module, which is just a deck of cards. And it's got room for 40 cards. And I want it to be 3 traits and maybe 1 punch board. And so what I'd like to do is open source that to designers so that they can start designing these little mini modules and small box modules and throwing them out to the community and playing them and playtesting them and selling them if they want and earning money off of it. And then we will print the most popular as voted by the community, a small box and mini box. Just it'll be a small print run. It's just what we think we can sell. So like 500 to 1,000, but they'll get professional art. And so we want to kind of cultivate a community of people to do this, which will give you the unending content you want and will give us, will give you the unending content you want. It'll give designers a fun chance to play test and collaborate and have a community of makers that they're like being creative with. And it'll give us the chance to see what's the community asking for and what are they really excited about. And then we get to publish the ones, that people like. And then, though I'm not supposed to say this, and I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh, don't get yourself in trouble, but yes, absolutely say it.
I mean, I'm getting myself in trouble with me.
I have 70 subscribers, Dominic. Like, the industry insiders aren't watching me.
25 people are going to be so let down.
Yeah.
If we find mini modules and modules that we really like, we might bundle them together and actually release a real module based on with a bundle. But no promises there. I just don't want the community to think, oh, they're going to get into like a real module.
I think it's a great idea. That whole, top to bottom, that's, gives people an outlet for when they want to make creative for a game that they like. And then gives the players like Rick to, unending content. This is how people become creatives, by the way, Rick. When there's something you want that doesn't exist, you got to make it yourself.
I've heard that. People told me
and you'll be making, because I know you're going to do this, Rick. You're going to get some idea that you think is awesome, and then you're going to play it with other people that are making it on TTS, and then you'll get feedback. And so you'll figure out what works and what doesn't work and keep working on it. And then there'll be some things that the community just loves and is excited about. And it's just working and it's new and innovative.
So in addition to putting wannabe influencer on my resume, I can now put wannabe game designer.
Yeah, no, but you will be a game designer.
Oh, I like that better. So
because one of these is going to get published by North Star Games.
Whew, I think you're presupposing a lot more talent than I might have, but I will give it a shot for sure. I play a lot of games, so maybe I can come up with something. But when you were telling us about that, I was so intrigued by the concept. I know it's something that in video games, the modding communities are like that's encouraged by some companies and not by others. But in the board game arena, have you seen anything like that at all? I can't think of a single example. Like,
No, I haven't. But like you say, the video games as the modding communities, and then also in RPGs.
oh yeah,
And in fact, so I kind of had this idea, but it wasn't an idea of open sourcing until someone said, "Hey, that's what Fourth Edition did," or something like Hasbro did that with D&D, and other people could create content. And so
yeah, the old OGL,
yeah, and they said that helped explode the industry, and then Hasbro was like, wait a minute, it's gotten out of control, and they kind of clawed it back. And so I was thinking, well, how can I create some constraints so it can't get out of control? So like if it's just mini modules and small box modules, and I've defined what they are, and then I've given people the right to make it and print it and find art and sell it and like do whatever they want, then I feel like, okay, well, I still have control over the modules, like the big box modules, the what we call the real modules. And so then, yeah, I would love for there to be an ecosystem that's just like creating content with people that are just loving it and creating it and playing.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing idea. So I'll love to see how that gives me more of the content I so desperately need for this game and then the rest of the games.
And we'll see whether, like, to me, it's an economy of scales thing. So can you get enough people, and we probably don't have the weight to do it properly. So we'll have to sell our company to Supercell or something like that so that they can do it.
As long as I don't know, as long as you don't go like the Asmodee route, well, we might be all right.
I'm not selling. Hopefully, as long as if I don't go bankrupt, I'm just like I'm doing what I love.
Excellent, because you owe me some more stuff.
So entitled.
I know, right? It's like my wife and I were talking about this recently. We're like, with TV shows, you used to have to wait every week to see an episode, and now it just gets dumped into a binge, and it's fundamentally changed the way we consume these things and want these things. And
yeah,
I just want the games.
There's a few shows that don't do that, and my kid is really upset about them.
Yep.
Yeah, what's that? What do you mean I got to wait until next week? This is ridiculous.
So, Rick, what's the next module that I'm supposed to put out? I mean, you need it. What do you need?
Okay, I just thinking, what if you did like, I'm thinking King of the Jungle. Okay. So like something akin to that. Full disclosure, I haven't played the Graveyard module yet, but like, how can you evolve your species either via overt predatory, I'm a lion, or I'm a snake or something that you have to account for? How do you make your species the king of the jungle?
Okay.
Like the apex themselves.
Slap an apex predator trait on there, and then you're good to go, right?
Yeah. But not the apex, not really like maybe an apex predator, but like how do you become the dominant species? That's kind of the first thing I think of. I have no game mechanics around it right now, but I wonder like, how do you create a set of traits or set of circumstances that lead your species to be the dominant species in that ecosystem? And now sit with that for an hour and think about it.
Did I interrupt? Were you saying something?
Oh, no, please. No. No, I'm good.
So normally people think of King of the Jungle as like dominance, like a apex predator.
Yeah.
But I'm going to flip it on its head a little bit. If it goes to me, I think of the King of the Jungle as the one that has the largest population.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to do something like that, because it could be a predator, but it could not be a predator. It could just be some sort of bonus for the species each round that sustains the largest population.
Yeah. And that's where I think like there's, for me, like I'm spinning on two axes. There's like dominance in terms of being like the biggest lion in the jungle, and there's dominance about like the leafcutter ants that the
Right.
whole ecosystem revolves around them because they are in everything.
Right. Yeah. And maybe you might be able to encapsulate both of them in the same
Yeah.
module. Yeah, that would be awesome because I don't always want to play just like I attack like a battle game.
Right.
But in the natural ecosystems, there's a struggle going on for sure. And sometimes it's for like, lions hunting.
Yeah.
But often it's just struggling to grow your population and find food. And like it's the way that animals do it aren't always by attacking other animals.
Yeah. And I think that's where like maybe just thinking about it as like a dominant species is better because like it's not just stacking all the predator traits, it's stacking traits that lead the ecosystem to kind of revolve around you. So yeah, you gave me a project. My wife is going to hate this
I love it
because now I'm going to be asking her questions about it for the next month, and she's going to go crazy. Like,
how about if we call it dominant cats?
Oh man, then she'll answer every question. I can't do that because then she'll come to me with cat pictures and videos. And does this work? And yeah,
Yeah, what if it's just a module of cats and like all the species are some form of cat?
oh, I got it. You set it in like in a household, and like it's all revolves around like
There you
household
go.
animal type traits, like all the things you never see, like the 100 spiders and centipedes and mice and whatever and raccoons that all make your household ecosystem spin. That would be kind of a neat thing.
What if you were household pets and you were vying for the head of the household's affection? Like you want to be the favorite pet.
But that would, yeah, and I think, Chad, that's a small box because you're putting in all the traits about how cute you are and the tricks
Yeah.
you can do.
That's what I'm thinking here.
Yeah,
Like I'm getting ready to design my own module once this community kicks off.
yeah.
I love it. My dogs fight for my attention all the time.
Yeah, I like those videos like on YouTube shorts where they show the jealous dog. Like if you're petting a cat and the dog just starts, especially huskies because they like to cry and moan a lot.
I haven't seen those. That's funny.
Yeah, dogs or cats giving the stink eye when you're paying attention to the other animal. Those are good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And now we have to stop talking about it on a show that, a few dozen people watch so no one steals our ideas.
Yeah.
This is community, we're trying to foster a community of creativity, right?
That's true.
Exactly.
Who can refine my unfocused ideas that I came up with in a minute and a half?
Yeah, I got like 6 more written down over here.
Yeah.
You're not getting those. Those are the good ones.
Oh, see, look at that. Hey, Rick, it's a community, and you won't even share it with the guy who edits all the YouTube stuff.
Well, you're supposed to share your stuff, and then that
We
can help me
capitalize
do
on
my
it.
stuff better. Yeah.
I got it. I understand. Well, I think what oh no, now hold on, my brain stopped. Yeah, I think Dominic, we talked about like everything I wanted to really talk about with you, and I'm really happy to hear that nature is hitting for as many people as it hit for me. Because I've had that experience before where like I will talk somebody's ear off. I talk like a bunch of people's ear off about a game and it hits for nobody but me, and that makes me sad.
That makes me horribly sad.
This one,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it didn't hit hobby the way I was hoping. So, like, even though we sold, over 1,000 games at Gen Con and a 700 at Essen, so like it's been big, and Hobby sold over 500 without any modules because they don't have them yet.
mm-hmm.
It hasn't tickled Hobby's fancy. Hobby is looking at it and going, it's no evolution. It's kind of simple. So that's disappointing. I know.
Yeah, because it's not. I think the complexities and the crevices there may be hidden a little bit. Like it looks, which is you would think it's good. It's more accessible, looking. But once you get deep, I mean, there's a lot of layers to it, and you can really go deep with it.
That's what I try to tell them, but they look at. I mean, if you just look at the BGG rankings,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of need to be over a 3 to be in the top 100. And I know there are exceptions, but 95% are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not that at all. like I tried to make the rules as clean and as simple as possible. I don't want you to have this bushy, complicated tree to figure out what your options are. I'm like, I want the options to be really clear, and you need to make a judgment call. Because to me, the interesting things are the judgment calls. But to a lot of hobby right now, the interesting thing is like going through this bushy tree and this thing, and until you finally get to a judgment call, and then you make a judgment call. And those games often do have interesting judgment calls, but I don't like going, well, okay, if I do this and then this, then okay, then that ends up being 3 of this resource and 2 of this and 1 of this. Okay. And I'm like, let me get to the interesting thing, which is like, I'm going to make a judgment call between these 3 things. And and based on my experience with this game, I think this is generally a better idea based on this situation. To me, those are interesting decisions. Yeah. But like spending a lot of time to figure out what are my decisions, I just don't like that. And that I'm at odds with the hobby right now. The hobby right now wants all this complication. And I think part of it is obfuscating the judgment calls, because if it's all like really complicated, you get the illusion of I'm getting better at the game, because you're really just kind of understanding all the rules. And so you're like, yep, I'm a lot better. And so 3 to 5 plays, you feel like you get a lot better. But it's not the type of better that I'm interested in, which is more of like judgment calls.
It's a big pet peeve of mine, is the obfuscation of the, like the core concept of the game. I don't want to name any names, but there's one game that got pretty popular for a minute, and I was really excited about it. And then I played it and I realized it was coin flip. You're spending 15 minutes to set up a coin flip, kind of what we talked about earlier, but you're just obfuscating that 50-50 chance, really. And that's not really fun for me. If it's obfuscated enough that I'd ever figure that out, then great, you know.
Well done.
I guess it's great, but that's what I feel like that's what a lot of the hobby's doing right now. So the really complicated games. I mean, the good complicated games have a real interesting game also. But I feel like it's just hard to get to that sometimes. It's a lot of work and time before you get to like, these are the interesting judgment calls I'm going to make. So like nature, you get to it really quickly. You're like, is he going to go predator or not? Like there are these judgment calls and you're like, I'm going to make a call on his character. This person likes to go predator. I mean, a lot of times it's because you played with a lot and you know what their tendencies are. And then you go, okay, then it's a little bit more risky for me to do this play, you know? And so you're making these judgment calls on how risky is it right now in this situation to do this? Can I eke out 1 more population instead? You know, and that's what I'm always trying to do, is like, how do I grow my population and feed them? And when is it too risky based on the situation, the environment, and the players?
Yeah, because and that is one of the things I like about the modules we've played so far, is all of them, even though they're very different at their core, they force you to make what to me are very interesting decisions, like cost-benefit analysis decisions. Like how quick is the watering hole going to run out this turn? Do I have to go predator? Am I never going to? How many cards do I have to hold in my hand? Am I playing too conservatively by holding that 5 food card in my hand when it could be a really good trait?
Can I get to one of those eggs and migrate quickly enough to get to one of those eggs? Exactly. And then I got it several times, but now my population is so high. Do I do another one to try to sneak in?
Yeah, and that's where like I hear you there. Like those, like, I don't want to say needlessly complex games, because I think there's a lot of games that have good complexity. Yeah. But you miss a little bit of that, I think, sometimes. And there's a lot of soft complexity to games, which is just like, how hard can I push on this particular something, right? How hard can I push this dial before I have to pay a price that I want to pay? Right. And I think that's where, like, it's that subtlety that makes, for me at least, nature stand out so much, is that I get so much of that. And the rule set is so accessible that I spend all of my mental energy then on figuring out those in-game decisions. Like, instead of trying to remember what page 49 subsection B had to say about like, you probably haven't seen Elder Scrolls yet. It's a different animal because it's a co-op game. But
wait, that's Chip Theory?
Yes.
With 100-page rule book?
It's a bear. And ultimately it's worth it because the game is good and it does let you make a lot of good decisions during the game. Oh my God. But I had to read the rule book, I think 4 times before I grokked some of those things. And Our
Yeah.
first couple plays were still rough. But yeah, it's some games have that, and Chad, I will name and shame, not shame, but like I think that because again, like what's going to happen? 100 people are going to come for me. Oh no, on the internet, no less. So like
that means you've made it. When people are raging at you, that means you've made it.
Yeah. So I have an idea that we're going to do a video on like what are your like we're all going to talk about what our hottest gaming takes are, and then the rest get to rate how actually hot, good or bad they are. But like I think I think is Birmingham the #1 game on BGG right now?
I think so. Yeah. Brass Birmingham.
I like Brass Birmingham. I don't think it's the best board game, and I don't necessarily even think it's in the top 10. It's very good, but I think that it runs a real fine line of, especially like with the mid game cut, like because whenever I explain the rules to that game, I'm like, here's what you have to understand: at the mid game, this thing is going to happen. If you're not ready for it, you're basically locked out of the second half of the game.
It goes to canals or goes from canals to rails. I forget.
Yeah, it goes from canals to rails, and if you're out of position and you don't have ways to connect to some of the resources, you're just soft locked out of a big piece of the game, and you're not going to be able to beat people who have positioned themselves much better if you don't know it's coming. Right. So those are the kind of things that like it skirts a very fine line with those sorts of complexities in the game versus good in-game decision making. If the complexities create gotchas, that's kind of my issue. But again, not saying I don't like the game or it's bad, because it is good and it tickles a lot of things I like, but those are the kinds of games that I wonder exactly what Chad's talking about. Like, is the complexity hiding more determinism than I'm willing to let go? Yeah, there you go. I'm fearless about the 100 people. If that.
My goal this year is to make 20 people hate me on the internet.
So like,
and my kids love me. That's my goal.
Exactly. Yeah, my kids love me, and 20 random strangers hate me.
20 random strangers cannot stand my ass. Like,
that's when you've made it in life.
Yeah. We were talking about that at some point, like because when I got my first piece of negative feedback on the channel, like my wife said, "Oh, you've arrived." Like somebody said something snarky. I'm like, yeah, I mean, hey, I've been called an asshole on the internet more times than I can count at this point, so it's happened before.
What did they say? What did they not like?
Oh, it's actually funny because I don't know, Chad. Chad only kind of pays attention to some things. So a very good friend of mine and I made a video called "How Gaming Changed Our Lives," and we told like the story of like how we got into this and how it's led to like this incredible community we have around us and how we got there. And the first comment on the video was somebody saying, "Do you guys have tips on cleaning vomit out of a gaming mat?" Which I kind of took as the snark because internet. So I told him, I gave him tips on how I used to clean my neoprene mats when I would dive, and just said to follow us for more cleaning tips.
Oh my God.
Because like it was a really personal story for both of us, and I knew it wasn't going to hit with everybody because it was like,
so the vomit was like mushy, emotional stuff.
Yeah, that's how I read it. Exactly.
We're guys.
That makes sense.
We can't talk about that stuff.
I love both of you guys, but I couldn't get through that video. If I was sitting in the room, it would have been different. But
well, you'd have your bourbon. You'd be like, I can drink myself through this.
There you go. That's what. That's what I need. I need to drink a little while I'm watching the videos, and we'll be good.
But I've always just felt like this hobby has given me so much more than just something to do on Friday night or whatever. So like, I see so many people who like are looking for community and they're looking for these different things, and that's what we were trying to get across was this is how we found a community of our people, and it transcends just rolling dice and tossing cards around and bitching about randomness on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have that same story. Mine's probably started differently, but we ended up at the same place. Like for me, it was Magic the first time that I found a good community of people that I didn't feel like I had to be somebody different than I was.
Yeah.
And over the years, the game changed, but the people don't really. Like you kind of find the people that just are there for the right reasons and have they're good people, good hearts, and they don't expect anything of you other than be who you are and let's have fun together. So
Yeah.
I think we all go through that, or a lot of gamers anyways, you know.
I mean, that if you take games away from community, you've lost the biggest part of the value. Then it's just a bunch of rules, and they're kind of interesting, and you can kind of like, you know, try to understand the system. But it's like that's not anywhere near as rewarding as the community that's built up around it.
Yeah. At my wedding, and this is something I talked about too, like everyone who wasn't family on my side of the aisle was basically all people I had connected with through gaming. Like, so that's like all the important people in my life I've met through this hobby.
And for you, is that board gaming or also video gaming?
It's board gaming, miniatures, wargaming, RPGs. Video games are like especially the way we play them now. It's become a little impersonal. Like, it's harder to make those connections, I think, than even when it used to be like old school WoW days, because they've taken away a lot of the interaction, like that you have, or the reputational thing you used to have. And so, yeah, that's where I've always forged connections through like being at a table with somebody, having a drink, and
yeah, I think that's why board games are so sticky. You know, I think, you know, because they're not going away, even though everyone says they're going to go away. Video games are just taking over, and video games are great, but they don't. There's something that they don't do.
Yeah. I remember I watched a TED Talk where this guy was convinced that within the next 10 years or so, there were going to be no more physical board games. It was just going to be everything on your tablet.
You guy's an idiot.
Ooh, easy.
I mean, well, I mean, that's a stupid thing to say, like just calling a spade, because I mean, think about it, like forever as people get older, it gets harder to make personal connections, right? That's always been the case. And then as we get more and more tied to technology, working remotely, having AI do stuff for us, you're getting farther away from those interpersonal connections. And so there's always going to be a demand for that, just like there is for art. You know, they're afraid of AI taking over art and stuff, and it will in some fashion, but it can never truly do that because humans have a need to make art.
Yeah.
So we're always going to be making art, regardless of whether there's an industry for it or not. You're still going to be doing it, and regardless of whether there's new board games, we're still going to be playing together.
Yeah.
The AI is never going to be at the cutting edge. They're copying what other people. So like humans have this weird thing where like they have a feeling and they can express the feeling. And so they can do something new, like, oh, there's like a new emotional medium and feeling. And the AI is just mimicking that stuff. And now it mimics it amazing and so quick, and it's phenomenal. But like, it's never going to be on the cutting edge. It's just assimilating these other artistic endeavors that have been.
But yeah, you want to tell him?
Me? No, I don't need to tell him.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
That was the joke, but I didn't read you in on
That's
it.
funny. I'm sure you had a very good point that I didn't stick around long enough to listen to.
Honestly, but
well, I didn't say it was going to be 10 years. I said as the experience rivals playing it in real life.
There you go. You were misquoted. So,
that's all right.
Sorry, my fault.
The guy I was insulting is a not a real person. It was just this figment that Rick made up. That's what it was.
Well, so my like premise was setup is not fun. Figuring out scoring is not fun. There are all these things that are not fun. And if it can all be done digitally and we play face to face, this was about face to face gaming with digital medium, then so that social element was a part of it. But the like, this was as the experience digitally rivals the real world, and it just doesn't. Like, we just like to hold pieces, and like it's just not rivaling the real world.
This like the whole time we've been talking.
Yeah, and you know, if it did, I do think the transition would be faster because you know, it'd be great if you could just have all your board games right here and stick them in your backpack, and then roll out your mat on the table and just be like, oh, it's all set up. We don't have to shuffle. We don't have to set up. We don't have to put away. At least I would love that, because I'm not into. Some people do like the setting up and putting away, but I don't.
No,
but anyways, I don't.
Yeah, EverQuest was that for me. for a bit for like role playing games, because getting, more than three people in a room together at a scheduled time, and everybody's got to have books, and it's not so much getting stuff out of the box or whatnot, but there's still a lot of logistics involved. And with EverQuest, you could just get on and play, and you call your
Yeah.
friend, hey, I'm about to get on. You want to get on? We play together. So that was that same kind of thing, but there is some stuff missing, and that makes me think of Arc Nova, because I've never actually played Arc Nova in person. It just never came up. But the digital version came out, and I thought, oh, I'll get this. And that game, speaking of complexities, I think that it's one of those that's just too much going on.
A lot.
But because it was digital, I don't have I don't have to do the setup and the teardown and all that. But there's also some things that I also don't have a physical rule book.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I'm playing a board game, I'm looking through the rule book to just figure something out, because,
Right.
my
How does
brain
this
doesn't work
work?
the same way you're just, yeah. So the first like 5 or 10 plays on the computer, I had no idea how scoring worked. Didn't make any sense to me at all. So
So wait, so this is on Steam? Where are you playing this? Can I
yeah,
play it on my
yeah.
iPad?
I don't know if you can do it on an iPad or not. It's on Steam though.
I
And
don't do Steam. I
Switch
need a
has-
new iPad game though.
Yeah, the Switch has more and more board games on it too. Like
Switch does too. I love Wingspan is like
Wingspan is like an amazing
chef's
digital game.
kiss on Switch. I love it.
Oh, neat. Evolution is on Switch too.
Is it?
I
I
did
did not know that.
because
I always
recommended
find
to me
those too
last
late.
night.
Like I go looking for these types of games, and I never find them because they're hard to search for,
Yeah.
and they want
Yeah,
to
there's too
give
much.
you, yeah, they want to give you stuff that's like like I don't know, other kinds of card games and stuff that are only digital. But when I'm looking for like a digital implementation of a good board game, are hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
So I had the opposite experience in that I did not buy the Slay the Spire board game because I have an embarrassing number of hours in Slay the Spire, the digital.
Me too.
I played that a lot.
That's a really good one. That's a
It's-
fun
It
one.
is a really good one. I did play
incredible.
the board game, and it's because it was already the video game, and it was already so good. The only thing you can do to make it a physical experience is to take away from the game. So
Yeah.
maybe that works in both directions. Maybe whichever its purest form is the way it is better. I don't know.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people say Slay the Spire board game's great, that I trust. So
It is
I-
great.
I believe
but
it's good.
It is great, but you're spending 4 hours to kind of do what you would have done in 20 minutes.
Well, so if you're just playing solo, I agree with you. I would never play the game solo because I can have a better experience if I just play the digital.
Right.
But the cooperative element where everybody can
Right.
play one of the characters, that's a lot of fun.
Right. And then
Yeah,
there's
that's
the
the
whole
draw for
element of you're doing it it's like a different
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Very different. Like, and that's where like we had a ton of fun with that. Everybody like critiquing each other's deck choices, especially. That was great. But I thought I was only looking at it through the lens of like as a solo experience, but the group experience is where it's at in board games.
Right. Yeah. So Slay the Spire was actually next to us at Essen.
Oh, the board game?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. They were one of the closest ones, and they had a ton of games. I didn't ask them how many they sold. I bet we probably sold as many, but their
That's a big box.
their game is huge and
It's a
expensive.
very big
Yeah.
And we're selling a $35 game.
Because they're trying to, that game is a whole, it's a roguelike, right? Where you can replay it
Yeah.
and there's a whole experience to it. And they do a pretty good job of putting that in a box.
That's what I hear.
That means it's a big box though.
It's a big box, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming expensive. I didn't ask.
They've even got a claw pack, I think, where if you want to play with like all claws, which is really fun.
What?
Claws? Like
have
in
no
the,
Yeah,
in
the
it's like basically a cantrip in the game, but it does like a little damage, but every time you play a claw, like future claws
it's
do
a-
more
Oh!
damage.
it's a defect card. Yeah, it's a defect card.
I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking about. That's like
Yeah.
with the third character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the defect, the one you can either go like claw physical or you can go the orbs.
Yeah. Yep.
And that box is much heavier than you would think it is, just being a card game.
Yeah, a
but
lot of
maybe
paper,
that's
man.
just the guy
Paper's
who
heavy.
He all in backed it, so he's got all the accoutrement and everything.
Yeah.
Dominic, let me ask you a couple more questions because I'm interested
right.
in your answer. Despite the fact that you claim to be a terrible hobby board gamer, what are the best couple games you played this year?
You're asking for new games.
Whatever you got.
Could be all games.
I
think,
mean,
yeah, we forget about stuff
New
too
to
much.
you games.
I'm going to tell you one of my favorite games of all time is Shards of Infinity, a deck builder. You ever played it?
When did it come out?
I don't know, 5-7 years ago.
I don't think I've played it.
It's Stoneblade Entertainment. You can get it digitally, and that's I normally play it digitally. And if I looked right now, I'd have so many thousands of plays on it that you should be making fun of me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I haven't played that one, I don't think. It looks kind of familiar.
So it is the
It's digital, I know what I'm
same.
doing.
It's the same game as Ascension and Star Realms and Heroes Realms.
Okay.
you draw 5 cards, and now that was the same as Dominion. Stats. Let me.
Yeah, I would like to know how many Ascension gameplays I have.
Holy Mother of God.
That's a big number.
That's a big number.
Yeah. So pushing 8,000.
I don't know if
and-
Steam tells you a number, it just tells you time, right?
And part of the reason is because I love it, and part of the reason is because I'm designing this game, and I'm like, why is this game so good? How does it provide so much variety? How do I get that variety and make it simpler? You know, and so I'm just emotionally playing it and just going, okay, what did it do? Why was this game interesting? What did this do this time? Like, how is that working? And how can I make that experience more accessible?
Have you tried Once Upon a Galaxy yet?
No.
Oof.
What's that one?
It's a digital drafting
battler.
card battler that a friend of mine made the mistake of introducing me to at Gen Con. So it's only digital, and they just released a new set. But it is you draft cards, and then you have a set of 5 cards on your side of the board, and it auto battles against an opponent's 5 card.
It just shuffles it and then just battles.
Oh, it doesn't even shuffle.
No, there's no
It's
shuffle.
Yeah, it doesn't shuffle. It's just
you have 5 guys and you choose where to put them.
Yeah.
And you put them on a map.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a 5v5, and your opponents are like, the way they do it is it's not an AI thing. It's
it's other people's decks. So while you're playing, it kind of saves what you did.
So
do you secretly choose where each unit goes and the other person does it at the same time, and then you reveal and see what
No,
happens?
there's no gameplay decisions. You put them in a specific place, and then they kind of attack in order. And then, but when it gets revealed, it's just there. Like when you start the game, everything's just there. So there's not really, you don't participate in the gameplay. It's all set up.
So 2 people do this at the same time, and then you see who won.
No, it's
really, you're playing against the ghost of somebody.
Yeah.
So they've already played a game, and the game just recorded what they did, and then you end up playing against their setup. Because the game really is you set up your board, and then that board attacks someone else's board, and it auto battles.
Gotcha. Okay, kind of like the Clash of Clans thing, a little bit.
Maybe.
There's a lot of phone games that do it.
Yeah.
Wits and Wagers did it back in 2008.
Oh, really? I didn't realize there was a digital thing.
The company that did Dragon Veil, they sold to Hasbro for like 80 million a little bit later, a couple years after. They did a version of Wits and Wagers, and it only had like 250, 300,000 downloads, which wasn't enough for them to monetize it. They're like, it's not worth monetizing, so it got killed. But it was kind of interesting. So you would answer 7 questions, and it would record what your 7 answers were. And then when you played, it would look Facebook friends, and it would find a game that the most number of your Facebook friends had played, and it'd be like, oh, that's game number 372.
Oh, nice.
And then it would serve you 372, and it would have my 7 answers, and Tisha's 7 answers, and Chad's 7 answers, and Rick's 7 answers, and then you would just literally play, and then you'd have that one. And so then, it was pretty cool. That I think they screwed up because I think the reason it didn't work is you couldn't reach out. You couldn't text Satish and say, I bet on you. How did you not know? Blah, 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 blah. Or whatever. Like there was no way to bring that social element because we played it in the office and it was so much fun. But I would just lean back and I'd yell at Satish and then he'd be yelling at me and, hey, what? I bet on, and so like that social interaction was so much fun. And I think it didn't happen.
That's always the more fun thing. So I check it out because it's a uniquely digital experience.
Say it again. Something of the galaxy.
Once Upon a Galaxy.
Okay.
It's a uniquely digital experience, but it has a lot. There's a surprise. I didn't think I was going to like it, but there's a surprising amount of relevant decisions to make.
It's not the best programmed game.
Yeah, I wish the AI was a little smarter how it attacked, for sure.
Sometimes the game doesn't open.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't had that issue yet.
Oh yeah, sometimes it just doesn't open. We close Steam and restart Steam, and then it'll open.
Oh, I mean, you just need to be on iOS, I guess.
I've had it crash before too.
Yeah. It's got a pretty good like community. I think there's a bunch of professional Magic players who are streaming it exclusively now. Like, which I was surprised by. But very cool.
Speaking of deck builders, there's one I wanted to mention because it does things a little bit different. It's called Cobalt Core. And you have 3 different decks that you're kind of building, and I don't remember how it works because I haven't played it that much. But I think that's one of those things where like that's an interesting concept. Like whether or not you like that game or not, there may be some ideas there, because
what was the name of that one? I'm writing them all down now.
Cobalt Core.
Okay.
And you're on a spaceship, and basically you have 3 crew members and they all have a different deck. So one may be like the gunner, so those are your attacks, and one may be the pilot, so you got some maneuvers or whatnot. Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of room to keep growing that because you could just have another role on the ship.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I should call it quits. I think I have to play Slay the Spire tonight.
That's what that's what I was going to suggest about a half an hour ago, but it seemed like we were going all right. So I'm happy to. It's despite the fact that we eat into your time, Dominic. It's always cool talking to you. Just someone who thinks about games a little differently than I do, and like has a different perspective. And I feel like I always learn a couple cool things.
It's been really fun for me, so I appreciate. This is just fun. I mean, I'm trying to get back to where I'm having fun. So like, 25 people, 30 people, 5 people, 3 people, whatever.
Yeah. So. Well, I'll do the end of the. I'll definitely do the end of the show. So thanks everybody for joining us. So I've got in the description information about the upcoming nature sets, about hopefully how to late back nature climate because it sounds absolutely incredible, and then hopefully some information about the collaborative effort that the Dominic's told us about to like design modules.
Nature modding.
Yeah, how can you get involved? So I'll put all that information that I can in the description and. Let us know what you think. Critique my ideas and tell me how awful my video that even Chad doesn't like is. Everyone, thanks for watching. Dominic, thanks for taking the ride with us again.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Chad.
See ya.